Listening Colour with me, Rachel Walker-Mason. Okay, we're back to some amazing Ren with Chinchilla. I couldn't possibly, now that I've seen one of their videos together, I couldn't possibly not do another one because they are both amazing. So this is How to Be Me.
1, 2, 3, 1. Oh, 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 I don't feel safe in this bed. There are voices in my head. I've been talking to the dead, and the fear baptized me. My kingdom turned to dust, and I watched all.
Pause it there a second. Gosh, their voices are just made to sing together. They've both got quite an unusual vibrato and vocal quality, but yet they go together really well. So that opening section in just that acapella thing, they were singing. I couldn't quite tell if it was major or minor sometimes because they were singing sometimes in fourths and things, so it made the intervals seem quite unusual. But they were in tune. They were just unusual. And then when the guitar part came in and you could tell where they were going musically, it was beautiful. Their voices are just stunning, and the way they pause, breathe together and come back in again, they just have this incredible way. It's kind of like when you watch the swingle singers or incredible a cappella groups, and one of them will inhale and they will all do exactly as they're so trained that they'll do the same thing at the same time, and it's just so perfect that no one needs to conduct it or anything. They just feel each other's breathing and can do it, and that's what these two are doing here. It's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I can see why they work together so often, because it just works. And I often find it uncomfortable staring in someone's eyes, but they often do that when they're singing, and it's really nice, really captivating. So lyrically, we start off in a place where Ren's talking about what's going on inside his head. It's often quite dark in his head, and he talks about things he's struggling with, which is really comforting to other people because we realise we're not the only ones who feel like this. So I don't feel safe in this bed. There are voices in my head. Oh, this line's amazing. And the fear baptized me. Wow, what a line. That's so interesting. I watched all my riches rust. Have I lost the Midas touch? Or do sad eyes blind me? I love that he just asks all these questions. They're kind of rhetorical questions. Have I lost the Midas touch? Have I lost that ability to write that really draws people in?
My kingdom turned to dust, and I watched all my riches rust. Have I lost the Midas touch, or do sad eyes blind me? Over and over we go, over the hills and the valleys below. Oh, and it follows me home, and it suffocates me. No, I can't breathe. I said, oh, I can't breathe.
Oh my gosh, they've got such dexterous voices, doing those runs like in thirds and fifths together so perfectly is just, that is magical. That made my hair stand up on end. Oh, that was just gorgeous. And I think it's quite interesting, like in musical theatre terms, Stephen Sondheim quite often talks about it when there's two characters singing a song together, singing a duet, but sort of it's like two soloists just who happen to be there on the stage at the same time, because He often doesn't put harmonies in where you think, oh, there'd be harmonies because it's two people singing. I would chuck a load of harmonies, and I love harmonies. But he often didn't, because he's like, well, they're both telling stories from their own point of view. So they're both the lead character. They're both the soloist. So neither of them will be doing the harmonies. And I was like, oh, interesting. I still like putting harmonies in. But I think what Ren and Chinchilla do here is they do some gorgeous harmony sections, and they drop into a unison section. And the lyrics are over and over we go, over the hills and valleys below. Oh, and it follows me home, and it suffocates me. And it's as if that bit there is they're thinking exactly the same thing, and they're both struggling with the same kind of monotonous misery of this kind of idea chasing them. It follows me home. There's nowhere you can go to escape yourself. You will always be there. You can go anywhere in the world, but the problems you have will always be there. And if you're worried that you've run out of your skills, if you're worried about that you've lost the Midas touch with your writing, you'll be exactly the same no matter where you take yourself. And so I love that they do that in unison, because it unites them in that misery and that relentless feeling of being trapped like that. That's so clever. So I feel like it's a bit of Sondheim magic there, and then back out into those fabulous harmonies.
I said, oh, I can't breathe. All I know is I forgot how to be me. I don't feel safe in these.
Oh, that section was absolutely beautiful. Her going right up into those high, beautiful notes. She's got such clarity in those notes. They're so beautiful because she's got quite a raw quality lower down. She's able to get into quite a raspy tone and make it quite edgy. And then she has this almost like choir boy, like clean, beautiful, crystal clear tone that comes out at the top. And it's quite unexpected. And it just adds another facet to this, because it's just the two of them and a guitar. That is it. I know it's 2019 that they wrote it, but I'm not sure where they were in their career at the time. I don't know whether they were already really popular or whether they were still kind of working their way up. But I guess everybody reaches that point where they're like, am I still me or am I not? Have I forgotten how to be me? Am I only the performer version of me now? It's hard to switch between the two. Tricky. It's very tricky. And this is a really interesting thing to talk about. And we've seen things go quite badly wrong, very sadly, with some people when there's been that very little support.
Ooh, I don't feel safe in these halls. There are bruises on the walls. There are bodies in the floors. And they breathe so loudly. I wish I could move, get up and walk right out this tomb. Do our saviors die too soon? For my sins surround me. Over and over we go, over the hills and the valleys below. Oh, and it follows me, follows me, and it suffocates me.
Wow. So much to unpack here. That section was beautiful. So we've got back to the I don't feel safe. We talked about before, I don't feel safe in this bed. This section is incredible. I don't feel safe in these halls. There are bruises on the walls. There are bodies in the floors, and they breathe so loudly. That is so incredibly dark. It's like they're haunted by the dead and the living. And that feeling of discomfort, of not being able to rest wherever you are. It's like, when you've got that much adrenaline rushing through you, you can't rest. Your whole body's like tense, and it's looking out for danger everywhere. And like everything is traumatizing you to some degree, and you physically can't rest because you're on high alert the whole time. And this is how this sounds, like almost like a paranoia of there probably aren't bodies in the floors, but it feels like there are. You get the sense of that in this song, and where they do the little stops. It's like they can't catch a deep breath. They're breathing very shallow for those moments. And when we're breathing very shallowly like that, it's usually when we've got a lot of adrenaline rushing through our bodies. In order to breathe deeply, we need to have more relaxed kind of feelings. And when you're stressed and anxious, you tend to breathe in those short bursts, which they are illustrating perfectly with the way they are doing the vocal here. And then we've got this over and over we go kind of chorus section again. And what they do here, rather than singing in unison like they did last time, they do a kind of call and response kind of thing, which makes it even more interesting, that trapped in the cycle. Is even smarter than how they did it before, which I really like, doing it in unison. But this is lovely. It's like they're constantly trapped, constantly going back over and over and over those lines. Over and over we go. And it fear surrounds me and it suffocates me. It's brilliant. It's really clever. They're making very clever choices with these vocal harmonies. It's really well thought out. You may not know that working in the music industry is a pretty poorly paid job to have. So if you would like to support me, you can buy me a coffee, or as we say, a tea. The link is just here. Doing that enables me to support my family, to make more videos for you. If you would like a more regular way to support me, you can become a member of the Colour Wave crew. You will get to see videos before anybody else, and there will be lots more exciting stuff coming your way soon.
And it suffocates me. I can't breathe. I said, oh, I can't breathe. All I know is I forgot how to be me. Hallelujah. Where is my God? Where are you? Hallelujah. Nothing is pulling me through. Hallelujah. When I don't know how to be. Hallelujah. I forgot how to be me.
Wow, that section was gorgeous. That's just, I love it when Chinchilla goes up into that really strong, gritty vocal. There's so much power in there, so much kind of bluesy soul. I don't know whether she sings bluesy things as well, but she definitely could with a voice like that. There's so much kind of life and grit and stuff in there. It's amazing. Those harmonies were stunning. It kind of echoed what's done in the previous version of that, but with a very different vocal quality here. So they're in a much more they're telling the story in earnest. Like they're really asking, rather than just telling the story, they're like desperately asking. And this section of hallelujah, where is my God, where are you? Nothing is pulling me through. So are they really talking to God here, or is it just another rhetorical question of like, well, where are you? That's really interesting, that they often talk about religious and spiritual things, but I don't know if that's who they're talking to, or it's just for the lyrics of the song. It's really interesting, the choices they make in their lyric writing. Really interesting, really clever. So Ren and Chinchilla actually talk quite often about mental health struggles, and they clearly write about that together. And is this about finding yourself again, particularly if you've been, because I know with Ren, they put him on medication for depression, which he didn't have. Turns out it was Lyme's disease. And so then he had to overcome that. And naturally, some musicians have a kind of predisposition towards a kind of addictive nature. I know I certainly do. So you end up just replacing one addiction with another addiction, which isn't actually better, it's just different. And trying to find yourself under all those layers. And it's hard. It's a painful thing to do because you almost don't want to. You're like, I'd rather just put lots of layers on and hide under them. So it's a very difficult process coming back to yourself. And you don't always like what you find underneath all the layers of makeup and addiction and character and things. And so it's a really beautiful song that's really heartbreaking. I'm really honoured that they shared this process with us, because it's very honest. They could easily have just hidden these facts away, but living with yourself is the thing that we all have to do. And at the end, there is only us. We are just us. When we go into the next world, we can't take money and whatever with us. It's just us. And so knowing yourself is like one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves. But that's hard in life, particularly when you struggle with your mental health and you've got to kind of deal with all that and get right into the root of who you are. So this section where they're talking about, my God, where are you now? Nothing is pulling me through. Are they angry at God for letting all this happen? Or are they saying that you weren't there? Why have you let all this happen to me? You could have made this so much easier. Am I all alone trying to deal with this? This is really hard. It's like real pain coming out here. Nothing is pulling me through. Because it does feel like that sometimes when you're going through those really dark bits. You just think, there is no light at the end of the tunnel. It's all just tunnel. It is all tunnel and it's just dark. And there isn't a light at the end. And people go, oh, it's going to be okay. But you're like, no, it won't. You don't know. It's really hard. And it's like they're just in the dark tunnel here. They don't know it's going to be okay. So it's really hard to just keep going and keep fighting and keep wanting to carry on when you don't know that it's going to get better. It's heartbreaking and incredibly uplifting, actually, in a way that they're talking about it. And they clearly did both come through this time and are still here now. And I imagine this would have helped a lot of other people because it's so honest. They're not sugarcoating it. They're not saying, it's going to be great, it's all going to be fine. Because you don't know. They're just writing as they feel at the time. And it was obviously a very, very difficult time for them both to come through this. So it's incredible they've written about this. Right, let's do the end of the song.
Hallelujah, I forgot how to be me. When he gave up the fight, a quick decision late in the night that stayed with me for all of my life. I miss you so.
Okay, so the end part's quite unexpected. So I'm assuming here that Ren's talking about a friend or family member or someone very close to him who perhaps committed suicide. I could be wrong, but those lyrics are just, they just get you right in the heart. When he gave up the fight, a quick decision late in the night that stayed with me for all my life. I miss you so. That really puts a different spin on the song because, yeah, they're talking during the song about struggling with things. And I was saying that I was glad that they weren't talking about the fact that a lot of songs go, it's going to be all right, just hang in there. And they're not saying that. But it's kind of implied you think, well, it will be okay because Ren and Chinchilla are still here, so it's okay. But then that end section is not what I thought would happen at the end. And clearly how that choice that his friend made or family member has made impacted him, stayed with me for all of my life. I miss you so. So perhaps that hit Ren so hard that he thought, right, I can't give up. I've got to hang in there. I've got to stay alive. Because the loss of that person hit him so hard that it kind of was like a wake-up call for him, which is brutal if you're already going through a really difficult mental health journey and then something as horrific as that happens. It's too much for the soul to bear, isn't it? People are resilient, but goodness me, that is brutal. And what a heartbreaking and beautiful way to end a song. And I'm assuming Ren's written more about this, but I don't know. This might be the only mention of it. And for it to just be there at the very end of the song, so it hasn't made the entire song about it, it's just in there at the end, and then it just stops. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that I am not shy about sharing my own mental health struggles, and I've struggled with depression for, about 20 years now, and I'm on very high dose antidepressants, and so I know those dark places. I know what it's like to feel like you're in the tunnel and there is no light, and so what's the point in carrying on? So if you're feeling like that, please reach out for help. please do, because the world needs you. The world needs you exactly for who you are and how amazing you are. And there's no one like you. So please hang in there and just reach out for help. Colour-wise in this one, it's quite a purpley colour. And often with Ren, I get like a darker, like a sludgy greenish kind of colour, but this is quite purpley, and it feels, I think it's with Chinchilla's voice in that harmony that's like a third up. It just gives this space in the top of the track that's just beautiful. It feels like there's this lift in it, so it all feels quite purpley and kind of space agey, which is not at all the colours I usually get with him. But yes, her voice does change the nature of the track, and so it's got these kind of lighter, kind of violety purples, and then the sections where they go into a unison feels more kind of bluish. It's like a thicker, darker kind of colour. And then the section that I love where they go into the kind of canon section, the Over and Over We Go, where she does the kind of echo of it in a harmony, is like two separate colours. It's like an orange and then a green, like rolling over and following each other. And then they become, you know, when you mix those two colours together, they become like brown, basically. And so it's like they're two separate colours spiralling, and then they just become a mush, and then spiral and spiral, and then a mush of the colour. And so it feels quite like the more they sing that, the more depressing it gets, because it's like they're kind of, the two voices are like pulling each other down into this kind of swamp of well, suffocation, which they're talking about at the end, and it suffocates me. It's amazing that the vocally exactly the same thing's happening in the colours as well. That's quite rare for it to have the same emotional impact, the same emotional effect. But it's pretty cool. And then the end section, after that beautiful chorus, we're in the harmonies and the hallelujah sections. It's back to that kind of purpley, kind of light purpley colours. And then that final bit, that's just acapella, and it's just black. There's like no colour is nothing. And it's just, or like clear. I often think of C major as colourless. It's like just clear. And it's like that. It's just got nothing there. It's so kind of hollow and empty. Not that the sentiment's hollow at all, but it just is so colourless, because it's like all the light and colour and beauty is drained from it because that person is gone. And you can hear it in Ren's voice, that hurt, that heartbreak. This must have happened a while ago, that stayed with me for all of my life. So perhaps it happened a few years ago, before 2019 when he wrote this, but it's like it's haunted him, and you can hear that in his voice, and it just draws all the colour out of the song, which is quite apt. As you can probably see from my channel, I'm getting pretty hardcore into Ren, and now Chinchilla, thanks to you amazing lot. So please give me some more suggestions of things to watch of theirs. There's quite a few that have already come in, but I want all the information. So please tell me if there's anything else you know about this video, then please let me know in the comments. I love your comments. I read them all. So keep them coming and keep the suggestions coming. Please remember to like, subscribe, share and comment. And remember to have a colourful day. Listen in colour.